I don't want to fearmonger by any means, but my job and my profession right now is I'm a nanny. I take care of kids. And what I am observing is that there is a massive problem of the future coming. We're already in very dystopian times. I'm very aware, okay?
All right, I know this is going to sound crazy, but just hear me out, okay? Does anyone else feel like our kids are going to school for no reason? Seriously. The world is changing so rapidly.
Hard because I don't know what the hell kind of world I'm raising my children for. How do you prepare someone for a future that does not exist yet? See, I was told go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a good job, work hard, buy a house, and then retire. But now that whole system is crumbling in real time.
Due to how things are rapidly changing, we actually have parents worrying and being scared and not knowing what script to actually give their kids, because people in the previous generation had a certain script that they gave, and the script was just go to school, do well in school, go to college, and be done with that, get a good job, and get a family, and just live life like that's just what you're supposed to do. And now the last people who followed the script actually are not seeing the results that they thought they were gonna see, and they're like, oh, things are actually changing. Like things have changed so much. People are not getting the results that they were thinking they were gonna get. So now the parents are actually scared and worried about what scripts to give their children. And also, in addition to that, we're gonna be checking out some videos with teachers also worrying about the future of the kids with too much exposure to social media, too much exposure to screen time. But before we get right into this video and check it out, please make sure you click the like button. It helps with the algorithm and I appreciate that so much. Let's get right into this video.
All right, I know this is going to sound crazy, but just hear me out, okay? Does anyone else feel like our kids are going to school for no reason? Seriously. The world is changing so rapidly, let alone the chaos that's happening every single day that everyone could just implode. But on a regular note, what are we preparing them for? Our education system is so outdated. Technology is moving so fast. AI is taking over way quicker than they anticipated. And our kids are still going to school learning what exactly to prepare them for what. Like, I'm literally sitting here thinking, how are my kids going to make money? Is that even is like the workforce is like non-existent, okay? Everyone needs a job, all this. Yes, people need to work, but what are people doing for work in like the next 10 years? What are our kids doing? And if it's a waste of time now, like, okay, elementary school, get the basics. You need to learn how to read, you need to learn how to count, blah, 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 right? All those things are great. But then what? They're going to go to junior high and learn fake history. And then they're going to go to high school and dink around and deal with bullies and chaos and possibly, shootings and all just crazy stuff. And then what? What are they going to do? I have a almost 11-year-old and a almost 5-year-old, okay? What are they going to do when it's their time to go out into the world and work? And every single job is being taken over. Every single creative job where people who were creative, who could align themselves with an area of work that people couldn't easily replicate, that's gone. Entry-level jobs, gone. Even like construction workers, they have like machines now that will just lay bricks and slap cement for them. Really, what are we doing? Are we going to end up with like a world where we get like a stipend for food and we all sit around on computer? Like, what are we going to do? And if it's a waste of time, and if this world is literally falling apart on top of that, I just want to spend time with my children and my family. That's all I'm saying. Because this just something's weird. It seems weird. I don't know what they're preparing for.
All right, so look, I'm a millennial. That means I was raised in the gap between the analog world and the digital one, between rotary phones and smartphones, between go to college, get a job, and retire at 65 and whatever this is now. We were promised a world that no longer exists. As millennials, we're given a blueprint that leads nowhere. And now, we're parents, trying to raise children, trying to raise the next generation in the ruins of that lie. And I'll be real with you, being a parent is one of the hardest things that I've ever done. Not because of the diapers, not because of sleep deprivation, not even because of the cost, even though it is expensive and things are overpriced. But it's hard because I don't know what the hell kind of world I'm raising my children for. How do you prepare someone for a future that does not exist yet? See, I was told, go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a good job, work hard, buy a house, and then retire. But now, that whole system is crumbling in real time. College, that's $80,000 worth of debt with no job on the other side. Jobs, those are vanishing overnight thanks to AI and automation. And buy a house in this market where our starter home costs more than our parents' dream home ever did. And retirement, that's crazy talk. Most people can't even take off the weekend without falling behind. So what do I tell these children when they ask, what should I be when I grow up? Because deep down, I don't know. I don't know what the economy will look like in 10 years. I don't know what jobs will exist, or if the concept of jobs will even still exist at all. Will it even still be a thing? And I damn sure don't know if there will be any stability left to hand them. We were taught that the world works as a machine, that if you do your part, if you play by the rules, then it'll all work out. But what do you do when the machine is broken? What do you do when the rules change every year? When corporations are replacing humans with code? When a robot can apply for your job, work 24/7, never complain, and doesn't need health insurance? And through all that, we're just expected to be calm and stable and secure. For our kids, we're expected to give them guidance, direction, hope, when most days we're just trying to survive ourselves. We are literally watching the planet warm up. The rent is rising. The food shelves are shrinking. The jobs are vanishing. The schools are decaying. The mental health crisis is exploding. And no one in charge seems to care. And yet, we wake up every day and try to do our best, trying to raise kind, strong, intelligent, conscious little human beings in a world that feels like it's falling apart. That's more than parenting. That is resistance. And if you are a millennial parent like me, I just want to say this. You are not crazy. You are not paranoid. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. You're just living through the collapse of an old world and trying to give birth to a new one at the same time. And that is definitely not failure. And even though it is hard, there is something we can do. We can stop trying to raise our kids to survive in a system that was never meant for us in the first place. Instead, we could raise them to survive without it, to think beyond it. We teach them how to grow food, how to build, how to repair, how to question everything, how to love themselves, and how to stay rooted in a world that is trying to monetize and digitize every part of them. We can raise them to be sovereign and know that their value does not come from a job title. They don't need to earn their worth through productivity, that they are more than what this system allows them to be. Because the truth is, we may not be able to hand them a stable future, but we can hand them tools for healing, tools for creating, tools for rebuilding. Because whether we like it or not, the system is going down. This American empire is rotting from the inside out. And AI is not just changing the job market, it is revealing how unnecessary some of these jobs were in the first place. And capitalism is not innovating, it's cannibalizing itself just to stay alive. So no, I'm not raising my child to be a good worker in a broken machine that exploits them. I'm raising them to be a builder, a creator, a critical thinker, a healer, a freedom fighter, a problem solver, a truth seeker, because I think that the world they're going to inherit won't need employees. It will need visionaries. It will need people who remember what it means to be a human. People who can navigate through chaos without losing their soul. People who can build new systems based on love, based on cooperation, based on community, and not greed and control. So yeah, I'm a millennial. I grew up in the lie, but I'm not passing that lie down to my kids. I'm breaking that chain. That means everything that I was taught about security, about success, about survival has to be re-examined and rebuilt. That's the real work now. So, if you're a parent feeling this too, then just know that you are not alone. We are all in this together, trying to figure this thing out. Teaching our kids how to swim in waters that we were never allowed to test ourselves. But even in the middle of the collapse, we still have the most powerful tool of all, truth. So, tell the truth, live the truth, and raise children who are not afraid of it. Because in a world full of illusion and collapse, truth is the real revolution.
I don't want to fearmonger by any means, but my job and my profession right now is I'm a nanny. I take care of kids. And what I am observing is that there is a massive problem of the future coming. We're already in very dystopian times. I'm very aware, okay? We're in a post-crony capitalist absolute fucking nightmare, okay? And we're all just grabbing our vices in whatever way we can in order to disassociate, in order to be content in our moments. I understand that. But when we have a conversation about the deterioration of children's minds via screens, it's not loud enough. It's not serious enough. And I'm not even talking about the cybersecurity of children on the internet. I'm talking about just genuine brain development and the ability to have empathy or sympathy and the ability to have critical thinking skills, the ability to spell, the ability to write. It is so fucking concerning. And I'm just watching our government, obviously dismantle and take apart the Department of Education, and all these billionaires. You have to understand, they put their kids in Montessori schools that they don't see a goddamn screen. They have created these bubbles to raise their children like we were raised pre-screen time, and that's what they're doing so that they can raise like overlords for the future for all of these other children. And a creator on here made a really great point that there's going to be two indicators of wealth and determinants of class that are going to become so fucking apparent. And it is the education that you get and the size of your body, unfortunately. That the upper class, the super wealthy, they are going to have refined education without screens, and they are going to be skinny. And that the rest of us that are in the lower classes are going to be shoved AI algorithms to educate ourselves. We're going to have no ability to have kindness and respect and consideration for other human beings. And we're going to be blowing up from the nutrient void foods that are genetically engineered by the overlords. It's scary.
Parents, you do not want to know what is going down in those kids' bathrooms. Everyone keeps complaining who are non-teachers and parents, and they're like, why don't y'all just let them go to the bathroom? I don't understand. If they got to go to the bathroom, let them go. Don't let them, you can't hold them from going to the bathroom. You don't know if they have a bladder problem. Let them go to the bathroom. Well, let me tell you, when you teach middle and high school, it's a totally different story. And what's going down in those bathrooms is not rated G or PG. It's rated R and X. Who you think your child is not who they are at home, at school. Let me tell you, I have heard, I have witnessed, and I have seen some things that are crazy. I can't even say it on social media. That's happening. What you need to do is go to Instagram or TikTok and look up your school and put in fights. A lot of times with this generation, they record everything. You can see fights, you can see who the couples are, etc. All of them have a page. The kids make them. They expose themselves to social media. They might not tell you. They might sound, if they're a male, they might sound like a male when you talk to them, and then at school they sound like a female. When you go when you go in the bathrooms, and you might think Laura is this sweet little girl. Laura is in there with Lisa, and it's going down. And it ain't schoolwork, and it ain't just them urinating. I'm telling you. A lot of y'all parents are naive. You need to talk to your teacher friends. And the sad thing about it, it's getting lower and lower. So it's happening in elementary schools as well. It's not just middle and high schools that is happening. You know, it's a reason why teachers have to lock their classroom doors, and every classroom has to be locked when you leave out of there. You cannot have it attended. It's a reason why we have hall passes and we have to monitor their location everywhere. There's a reason why there's a teacher in the hallways and monitoring the bathrooms. It's not just, going to the bathroom in there. It's some serious things going in that bathroom that you need to be aware of, because your child is not innocent at all. Teachers, if you agree with me, put in the chat, she is not lying. She's speaking of the truth. And parents, you need to go to social media. You need to go and put in fights, couples, etc., your child's school, and you will see what is happening, what the gossip is at the schools. Because I'm afraid to tell you what really be going on in there, So I'm just going to leave it to you to find out. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
According to TikTok, there are no teachers left in the U.S. because everybody quit their job and no one returned back from Christmas break. I've seen about 30 videos in 2 days of scrolling of teachers that were like, I'm not returning back to my teaching job, saying that the kids are horrible, the parents don't participate, the parents are not teaching these kids respect, the kids have no respect, and then issues with administration being disrespectful. And this is a problem, and it's going to be a growing problem. Like, how many schools woke up the first day back from winter break and realized that opened up their emails and realized that teachers weren't there, and then had to split the classrooms. And now these classrooms are overcrowded. They were probably overcrowded before, because I'm seeing so many teachers that did not return from winter break. And I'm actually not mad at them, because I used to be a teacher. I used to be a substitute teacher. And the state of teaching is in shambles. I mean, these teachers are getting zero respect. The kids are verbally abusive. They are physically abusive. And no one's doing anything about it. People are not raising their children, so their kids get to school and think that they can disrespect anybody else because they can disrespect their parents at home. And now these teachers are quitting. They're quitting and finding other jobs. Some of them said, I don't even have a second opportunity. I don't have a backup plan, but I'm not returning. Do you know how bad teaching has to be for teachers to quit their job without a backup plan or another source of income? That's how bad y'all's kids are. That's terrible.
Did we all quit during the break? Because I came back to work today and there's some teachers gone. Students are asking if the teachers got fired. Of course, that's what a kid would say, is like, oh, did this teacher get fired? They might have resigned. Teachers, what's going on? Did everybody resign over Christmas break?
I'm a former teacher and now parent, and I realized that the new neglect is a lot worse than the old neglect. Does anyone else remember what neglect looked like 30 years ago, before the internet? It looked a lot like kids having to figure out life by themselves on their own. It meant they were by themselves a lot. It meant they probably learned a lot from siblings. It meant they learned a lot from the older kids that were around them, because they had no one guiding them. So they were just looking at the things in front of their faces and in their neighborhoods for guidance on how and what to do. But as we know, that's not what it is anymore. Because now all that figure it out time is spent here. And it's about figuring out this. And it's about being exposed to things on here that are not meant to be exposed to for children. And this is the battle that then happens at schools. Because in the past, those neglected kids could be influenced by teachers in school, by learning the importance of learning in schools. But now, kids are learning from whatever and whoever on the internet. And they are influenced by millions of different things, and everyone in totally different ways. And we wonder why kids are not doing well mentally. From what I've understood in my growth as a human being, it's that having a purpose, feeling like your life has a purpose, is extremely important for mental health. And right now, all these kids are seeing that all these jobs are going to disappear, that AI is their helpful little friend. And what is the purpose then? What is the purpose of education? What is the purpose of learning? They're like, why would I need to learn anything? I have everything right here. I don't need to learn anything. And I understand the children's logic of that. So what are we telling them? Because then we have to battle against what's being told of them at home, where there are people who are literally saying teachers are terrible, or they're saying you got to go to school, not you're going to school to learn. You just got to go to school because I'm not watching you. And ultimately, I think what we're dealing with is that a common state now is that people are looking to be entertained, not for a purpose. And I'm not saying this from someone else like I'm any different. At the end of the day, all I want to do is sit and watch TV and veg out. Why? I don't want to do any habits. I don't want to do anything to make me grow, make me better as a human being. Nah, I just want to sit and do nothing. And that's what we're showing kids too. Why are kids in their late 20s who just staying at home doing nothing? Because that's all they want to do. Stay at home, do nothing. Doing nothing is easy. It's an over-encompassing thing of avoid anything hard. Avoid anything challenging. And what do challenging things and hard things do? They help you grow. So we literally are not growing like we were before. And to loop it back to the beginning, these kids that in the past were neglected, they still learned. They learned how to function in the world kind of by themselves, but not anymore. Now these kids are being influenced. They are being manipulated by whatever gets their attention on this. And this is the crutch that tells them that education, learning, don't need any of that. It's all right here.
The only reason y'all are still having children you know you can't afford is because the government is there to bail you out every single time. If you were not allowed to add additional children to your Section 8 or your food stamp applications and or able to receive WIC for any kids that you did not initially have when you first applied for government assistance and got approved, y'all would stop. What I mean by that is, let's say you have 2 kids, you apply for food stamps in Section 8 and your benefits reflect 2 children. And the government says that's all you got from us. You already can't do it yourself. We're going to help you. But if you have any more kids, that's on you. So let's say you get pregnant with a 3rd child. You apply for benefits and you're denied. And the government says, oh, you couldn't take care of the other 2, so why the fuck you having more, right? So now you have 3 kids, but your benefits only reflect 2. You have 3 kids and you can't get WIC to feed that child, that newborn baby. You can't afford those $40 cans. Okay, let's say, oh, you have a 3rd kid, but your rent is not going to go down just because you had another baby. You're keeping the same rent. Y'all would not do that. And quite frankly, y'all are trying to debate me. In the same month the government said they weren't going to give y'all food stamps, and y'all was crying on the internet saying this isn't fair, it's holiday time, it's food stamp, like we need the food stamps, we got to feed the kids. And don't get me wrong, the kids do need to get fed. I would never say kids need to starve because their parents made poor decisions, but it's no way y'all are trying to act like y'all are not to be held accountable for your own actions.
I feel like when parents try to say those same scripts that they were told before while they were growing up, they are going to be, most of them are hesitating because now they really do not have an idea of what the clear path to success is. And before, I guess going to school actually opens more opportunities for you, but now people are not sure what exactly you should be doing to get successful. You've made it to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. Please make sure you click the like button. It helps the algorithm and I appreciate that so much. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you're watching me for the very first time. Hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video, and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.